Actually, knowing our unique strength is something that would help us go far in life. There are some certain things that you alone, only you, can do them better than a lot of people. What do I mean by this? There are some certain things that you don't need to put a lot of concentration, a lot of pressure, a lot of effort to do. Yet after you do them, you'd end up exceeding a lot of people. And that is what we call your unique strengths. And if you are to leverage on that, many people will go far in life if they are to leverage on that. You don't need to be chasing other things that doesn't work hand in hand with you or with your ability. Sometimes you'll see some people chasing some stuff. Let me give you an instance. There was once a time, like when I was in secondary school, I aimed to be a doctor and I applied for it, but it was not in my destiny. It was not in my book of life. I ended up not going there, which later on I had to thank God for not even going there, because later on I came to find out that my unique strength is not on that kind of field. My unique strength is on field that requires logical thinking and stuff like that. I ended up as an engineer and I did very good in that. God helped me. So how do you, listening to me, find out about your unique strength? Well, here are three things that you need to consider. And these three things are the easiest and fastest way to identify your unique strength. Pay attention to these three things. Number one, what do you enjoy doing naturally? There are three ways also to find out what you enjoy doing naturally. Number one is what activities make you feel excited, even when you are tired. There are some stuff that even if you are tired, you don't feel like you don't want to do them. Let me give you an instance. You will see some people, no matter how tired they are, they don't look down on cooking. They will confidently, no matter how tired, regardless of how exhausted they are or whatever, once they get home from work or from wherever they go, they head straight to the kitchen. Some will disregard the kitchen. Some will just go straight to their phone and end up online, spending hours online. Some will go and start reading chat and stuff like that. To watch yourself clearly and see what are those things that you feel excited doing, even if you are tired, you don't get bored doing them. Secondly, is what do you do in your free time without being forced? This is very important. I once read from some article that what you do when you are alone, doing nothing without being forced, is the actual you. So look into your own free time. What are those things that you do without being forced to do? If you find them, that is part of the things you should consider to know your actual strength, your own unique strength. And the third is what type of work or task feel easy for you but hard for others. I know there are some tasks that looks easy for everybody, but mind you, regardless of how easy they look to your eyes, they might be hard to others. The time that we were in universities, you'll find out that there are, out of the number of courses we do offer, you'll end up finding out that there are some courses that, let's say you're offering 10 courses, you'll end up maybe finding 2 or 3 courses that you can sit for like 2 or 3 hours and cover your lectures of 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, which would take an average from your class maybe 1 or 2 weeks to cover. You would cover them in just a few hours. And those things or those subjects are now your strength. There are things you read without being like, there are things you read and understand and they look easy to you yet hard to others. You'll end up finding that you love reading calculations, you easily understand them. Some of your friends find it hard to understand them. So that is part of the things you should consider. So these three things I just mentioned are the things you should look to know what you enjoy doing naturally. So the next is what people compliment you about. If you want to know what people compliment you about, also look at the three things I'm going to make mention of right now. The three things are: number one, what do friends, family, or colleagues always praise you for? If you look into your circle, you'll find out that there are some things. Let me give you an example with myself. The time that we were in grad poly, some of my friends always praise me with, once you carry book, though you understand it, things like that and this and that. I really, for those of us that are in engineering or science, I really enjoyed reading thermodynamics. And whenever I pick a handout from thermodynamics, in a few time I'll finish reading it and I would understand it. And anything I said about it, there are some of my friends that do not even trust themselves enough to object me, even if they are thinking I'm saying, oh, they're wrong. So you see, my guys used to praise me for this. So you too look into your life and see what are those things that people praise you over. And the second is, what do people always ask you for help with? You see, I always relate this to tertiary education level. Like I always relate this to myself. I want you to relate it to yourself. To what are those things that people ask you to help with? I promise you, people would only ask you to help with something if they know you can provide that thing. And those things they usually ask you to help with is because they know you can provide them. And those are the things you should put into consideration in knowing your unique strengths. And the next you should consider is what skills or talents do others admire you with. So if you look into these three things, you'll end up finding what people compliment you about. So the next you should consider is what you can do better than most people. In order to understand this too, I'll give you three things to look into. The first is what task or activities do you complete quickly? Do you complete quickly and well? The second is what skill come naturally to you that others struggle with? And the third is what challenges have you overcome that others find difficult to overcome? If you look into this and take them into consideration, I promise you, you would know what unique strength you have. And if you are to leverage on that, you will excel in that field in quite a short time. Don't go and be chasing stuff that are hard for you yourself. If you look at these three areas, you will quickly see a pattern. That's your strength. What do you think are your strengths?